Our invocation will be Ms. Shields.
Let us pray. Oh God, we thank you for bringing us here today. Our prayer is that your will be done through this meeting and all decisions that are made here tonight. We ask that you take what we have prepared and multiply our efforts as only you can. Grant us wisdom. Align our intentions with your righteous will. Remind us of your faithful provision when our efforts fail us. And may all glory and honor be yours when we reach and find decisions for obstacles that we face this evening. Keep love at the forefront of our minds and be the guiding light for all we set out to accomplish and celebrate in this great city of Tullahoma, Tennessee. I ask, loving God, that you be with each person in this room and comfort them in any private prayers that they may have as well. It is in your name, O God, and in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, that we hold this meeting tonight.
Amen. And the pledge by Ms. Shields.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms.
Thank you, Ms. Shields, and the fire department's color guard. Thank you. We'll now have the September Employee of the Month. The presentation will be by Ms. Moody.
As you know, each month I'm honored to do this. We recognize one employee for outstanding achievement, whether it be their attitude or action, or in this case, I would say both, their character and their performance. This individual is an investigator in the Tullahoma Police Department. He is one of the most reliable employees, and I'm honored to share with you just a couple of the reasons that he's been nominated this month. And I think they're very telling in that one nomination came in from within his department, one of his coworkers, and then another recommendation came in from one of our partner agencies just about in the same week. Investigator Gore is being nominated by the police department, especially for his recent response while they've been short-staffed. He's stepped up to the plate many times to help the patrol units on the road. In the past 2 months, he's brought charges against those who were determined in making armed robberies on North Jackson and the shooting suspect at the Northgate Mall. His quick and dedicated response in both of these incidents has reflected positively upon the department and made the community a safer place. His extra effort and contributions to the department display the values of teamwork, contribution, and professionalism. Personally, I believe that everyone should attempt to display these same characteristics. He's setting a wonderful example, and they wanted to nominate him for that. And then I'll share with you this other one that is from Jason Ray, Director of Business at our Tullahoma City Schools. He shared that less than 2 weeks ago, they had a glass side light at Bel Air broken. The school principal, Mr. Epley, contacted the police department. Detective Johnny Gore responded, spoke with the principal, watched the surveillance video, and created the report. A few days later, Detective Gore had located the individual and obtained a confession. Additionally, the individual responsible for the breakage came to the central office to pay for the damages. Detective Gore followed up to ensure the individual had been by our offices as promised. They expressed their thanks to Detective Gore for his assistance, but felt compelled to share with each of you this story and to know that many times they know what bubbles up is negative. but really wanted to pass along this positive story and the kudos. So if I could, I would like Investigator Gore to step up. And Chief Williams, if you want to join us. Congratulations, we're so proud of you every day, but especially today. So, would you have any words you'd like to say? This is what we get, humble, servant, leader. Chief Williams, you have more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would just like to say that Johnny represents a lot of the great qualities that we look for in our officers at the Tullahoma Police Department. He's very passionate about protecting this community, and he cares for Tullahoma immensely, and it shows in the way he carries out his day-to-day operations within the agency. So very thankful to have employees like Johnny with us. So congratulations.
Congratulations. At this time, I have a couple of proclamations that I want to share with you. The first one will be a proclamation that was made to Ms. Ellen Scholars, who's chairman of the Suicide Prevention Awareness Network in Tullahoma, in Tennessee. I'll just share with you some excerpts from that proclamation. It's fairly lengthy, but it'll get the gist of it. Whereas suicide is one of the most disruptive and tragic events a family and a community can experience, with more than 1,100 lives lost in Tennessee each year, and an estimated 25 attempted suicides for each suicide death. And whereas suicide is the 9th leading cause of all deaths in Tennessee, and the 2nd leading cause of death among youths ages 10 to 24, and the 1st leading cause for children aged 10 to 17. And whereas public awareness of this tragic problem is the key to preventing further suffering and loss of life and the risk of human destruction, it can be reduced through awareness, education, and treatment, as the highest risk for suicide is among the survivors of those who have died by suicide or those who have attempted suicide. And whereas suicide prevention has been declared a state priority by the governor, and the Tennessee legislature has declared teen suicide prevention as a state priority in partnership with the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network to implement the Tennessee Strategy for Suicide Prevention. And whereas the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network is a grassroots collaboration of Tennesseans and organizations working to eliminate the stigma of suicide, educate the community about the warning signs of suicide, and ultimately reduce the rate of suicide in our state. And whereas we encourage all Tennesseans to take the time to inquire as to the well-being of their family, friends, and genuinely convey their appreciation for their existence and by the gesture they deem appropriate. A simple phone call, a message, a handshake, a hug can go a long way towards helping someone realize that suicide is not the answer. And now, therefore, I, Ray Norris, Mayor of Tullahoma, do hereby proclaim September 2020 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and we do urge all citizens to work to prevent suicide and to raise awareness and tolerance around people affected by this tragedy. St. Ray Norris. Okay. I have another proclamation that I want to read, that we have our Alzheimer's Tennessee representative with us this evening, Fran Gray. This proclamation is for Purple Out Tennessee. Whereas Alzheimer's disease is a devastating brain disease that impairs memory, reasoning, motor skills, and the ability to take care of oneself. The impact of Alzheimer's on individuals, families, and our healthcare systems make the disease one of our nation's primary medical, social, and physical challenges. And whereas more than 110,000 Tennesseans are living with Alzheimer's disease, the most common form of dementia, and 1 in 7 American workers are also family caregivers for someone with dementia. And whereas according to the National Institute of Alzheimer's Disease is currently ranked as the state's 6th leading cause of death in the United States, but recent estimates indicate that this disorder may rank as a 3rd cause of death. And whereas Alzheimer's Tennessee is a statewide, it's independent 501c3 not-for-profit organization. It's based in Tennessee since 1983. And that provides support services to our citizens, promotes brain health through education, and champions global research for better prevention and treatment strategies. And whereas the State Court Clerks Association of Tennessee voted to adopt and support Alzheimer's Tennessee to help fulfill the organization's vision to make Alzheimer's a memory. And whereas Coffee County Court Clerk Heather Hines Duncan, along with court clerks in communities across the state, are showing their support by participating in the 6th anniversary of Purple Out Tennessee on Wednesday, September the 23rd through Friday, September the 25th, 2020. And now, therefore, I, Ray Norris, Mayor of the City of Tullahoma, do hereby proclaim that September the 23rd through the 25th, 2020 as Purple Out Tennessee, and commend its observance to the citizens and urge all citizens, county employees, and citizens and everyone across the state to join in this effort to raise awareness about Alzheimer's disease related to dementia, and as well to raise funds to support the work of Alzheimer's Tennessee. Together, we will make Alzheimer's a memory. It's great if you would join me at the podium. I'll do a station for you. Proclamation made on behalf of Tullahoma. For Mayor Alderman.
Thank you.
Would you care to address the board?
Yes, I would. And I have something for you.
Thank you all so much for your support. The need is great. We continue our services even though we've had to change things considerably because of COVID-19. But we are still here supporting citizens throughout the southern part of Middle Tennessee. And on Thursday, September 24th, we're going to sock out Alzheimer's, and I present you a pair of Alzheimer's Tennessee socks. And I ask you if you would please help us sock out Alzheimer's. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, you gotta get your socks in it.
There you go. Whatever you're comfortable with. All right, let's do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's more socks for us.
Oh, good.
Pages.
At this time, we have an activity that many of you are here to participate in. We have the applications for nominations to fill a vacant seat on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Application for the Alderman seat. For those applicants wishing to be nominated for the event, for the vacant seat, you're going to have 5 minutes at the podium to present yourselves. Ms. Golden will keep time, and she'll give you a 1-minute warning if you need that. When presenting at the podium, the candidates may remove your face coverings in order to promote more clearly being heard. So the applicants will present themselves alphabetically. And Mr. Bates, you may go first.
pull my hearing aid out. Good start. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Bates, if some of you don't know me already. I'm from Tullahoma. Graduated here at THS in 1970. Moved away for 15 years and came back. Been here ever since. My wife Brenda and I each have 2 children. And each of us has got one of them that still lives in Tullahoma. One's in Pensacola, Florida. One's in Melbourne, Australia. Our 3 grandchildren are here and in Australia. It's a long trip. My father has always been involved in Tullahoma activities. He was an ADC fellow, but he worked behind the scenes mostly at the credit union, the 3rd floor expansion of the Heart and Hospital, places like that. He didn't get out front very much. I've kind of followed his lead most of the time. My mother, on the other hand, was elected county commissioner in 1979. Before she could take office, though, she got cancer and died. So I think I'm going to try and follow her method this time and get out in front. I'm asking you to let me be out front instead of behind the scenes. You've all read my cover letter. My main focus of being on the board will be to make sure that the city of Tullahoma, do my part in aiding the city of Tullahoma to become a more sustainable community. And that sustainability has to do not only with environmental sustainability, it has to do with economic sustainability, it has to do with social sustainability. All these things are intertwined, just like all the departments of the city are intertwined. It's like a holistic kind of thing. You change one thing in one department, it may affect something somewhere else. So that's what my focus is going to be on. The city may not feel like it needs to get to that point at this point right now. So I may not be involved in the city at this point. But at some point in time, the city is going to have to move towards this. As you all know, if you believe in science, there's quite a bit of data nowadays that tells you that our children and our children's children are going to have a rougher time if we don't take the responsibility now to do what we can to make the world a better place for them. That includes locally as well as being part of a global activity. Because Tullahoma is not going to be by itself. Every city in the world is basically going to have to do what they can to do. Whatever they think's best, whatever they think they can work through, however they can become sustainable in all activities to try and ensure this is going to be a good place for our kids and our grandkids. Lord knows the Board of Mayor and Aldermen doesn't need another white guy. But my mom always told me that color was only skin deep, and I believe her. So I still would like to be on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Although you're going to have and hear from several other candidates tonight that are well qualified for this position. And I hope you will hear us all out before making up your mind without any preconceived kind of notions of what each person is. Sometimes Tullahoma seems like it's a little isolated, and it's not really. Things don't seem to hit us maybe as hard and as strong as some other places, but we're all in this together. I would like to make sure that I can do my part in ensuring that if the city sets down sustainability policies, that it can be built on over time. The best news to this whole thing is that God gave humans choice above all other animals, above all other creatures. And so we can use that ability to do whatever's right for our home, whether it's locally or the planet itself. Are we doing any questions and answers at this point, or what?
We will allow, if you're amenable to it, we will allow the alderman to ask questions at this point. Does anyone like to be recognized for a question? Hearing none, thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
And the next candidate alphabetically will be Mr. former Alderman Jackie Duncan.
I had hoped to come here today without this walker. I had a little problem recently. I was exercising and pulled my back, and I'm about to get over it, I think. It shouldn't be long, hopefully, that I will get rid of this. I started to come today with my little 3-prong cane, and that would have sufficed, I do believe, but I didn't want to take a chance and having to cross the street and everything. So my name is Jackie Duncan. I am a former alderman as late as last August, the last August election. And up until that point, all last year, I had the honor of serving Tullahoma as a county commissioner, which I still am county commissioner for District 19, serving Tullahoma. But for the last several years I've served in that capacity. But for the last 6 years prior to August, I could take my mask off. I'm sorry, I forgot you said that. Wasn't thinking I'd keep it on so regularly. But until last year, I was a county commissioner for District 19, representing Tullahoma, and serving on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for the last 2 terms. Last 6 years. So I've been honored just to serve my city, and it's been a blessing to me because I've always been a servant leader, and that's just my nature. And I guess it's because I live in Tennessee that we're all volunteers. So I've been a volunteer all my life for something, and I think that's in my DNA that I've done that. Even I used to work at Arnold Engineering Development Center, actually for about 34 years. I retired from there quite a few years ago. And I thought I could enjoy retirement and retire to write a book is what I had in mind. In fact, the book was already written just about before I retired, but I was going to write other books, and so I'm still doing that. I did write my first book. It's called Living on Purpose, The Poetry of Life. I write inspirational poetry. I like to inspire young people especially. And that's what I liked about this job so much as an alderman. The mayor would bring in kids from high school and just throughout the community for different things, and we were always praising the children, you know, the I Love Tullahoma contest and all this, but these are things that engage children and encourage them, and that is a blessing to encourage the children that when they leave here, you know, we all leave at one point in time to go to college or wherever we go. We decided, like I did at one time, that I had to leave this town. It just wasn't big enough for me, and I wanted to go somewhere and just see the rest of the world just for a little bit. And I did. I went to California and I saw enough more than I wanted to see. And so as I stayed there a while, and just about a year, and I got over it in just about a year, and I came back. So and I've been back here ever since. So this is a blessing to me. It's a blessing to get away, but you know, it's more of a blessing to come back and know that you didn't miss that. Hey, the rest of the world, there's nothing going on out there that's not happening here in Tullahoma that I can't. I'm within an hour of any kind of excitement I want to see, more excitement than I'd ever want to see, and I go to Huntsville, Chattanooga, Nashville, anywhere, and I'm good, you know, and then I come back home to a nice, quiet life. But anyway, I enjoyed my stay at Arnold Engineering Development Center out there. Actually, I was born on that property, and that's little that few people could ever say that. I was born when it was Camp Forest, when it was an Army base back during World War II. At the end of World War II, I was born there at the base hospital, and that's been just a blessing to me because I've made a circle, I think 2 or 3 little mile circle, then I've just been around that circle all my life pretty much, you know, except to leave, go to school in Nashville, and maybe then go to California and all that. But it's been a whirlwind for me just to know, you know, to be here in the house and right in my hometown, and I can go anywhere and retrace my childhood footsteps, and it's been a blessing. My family has lived in Tullahoma. Coming up this year will be 100 years. So I've been a part of this community all my life. And it's just been a blessing to me just to be a part of it. And I've known a lot of good people. In fact, I've looked at the mayor's pictures over there, the past mayors, and I've known about a bunch of those mayors. Dr. Farrar, I remember, was when he was a doctor, he'd made house calls to come to our house for my grandmother, and a lot of other things. You know, a lot of the other gentlemen there, George Bibbert, I remember letting him in the bank down there when he was courting his wife now, but they were just dating at that time, and he wanted to leave a message for her or something. So anyway, but I'm just saying, I've been here all my life and spent a good life here in town, and I've been involved in a lot of things. You have my bio and everything that I've done, and so up until this point, I've been involved in a lot of things, and I think there are a lot of things. We've got more time to be involved in things than we really spend, I think, a lot of times, and we all could do a little bit more than when we do. So I thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Would you accept the questions if we have any from the Alderman? Would any of the Aldermen be recognized? Hearing none, thank you, Alderman Lycum. Alderman Duncan. And next, alphabetically, is Sabonia McGee. And I apologize if I mispronounced your name.
That's okay.
Zenobia.
It's Cernobia.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
If I may, I have packet. In the packet, I've attached my speech, a copy of community involvement, letters of recommendation, different facets to show my versatility of communication and interaction with the community, and also a copy of my resume. My name is Cernobia McGee. I'm a native of Tullahoma and a product of both Tullahoma City School Systems and Motlow State Community College. I would like the board to consider me for the position of alderman. I'm a dedicated professional who brings a strategic yet personable approach to community service. I have a heart for the people, and I've always had a desire of serving in our community. Currently, I'm a member of the board of directors at Tullahoma Daycare, serving as vice president from 2014 to 2016. In 2012, history was made when I was chosen in the city of Tullahoma as the first African-American chaplain under the ordinance of the Tullahoma Police Department. In 2016, I was asked by Carissa Smith Barkley, who is a Democratic organizer in Nashville, to run for the seat in the 47th District as state representative. Although I was honored to be considered, the timing and personal commitments during that particular time were not favorable for me to accept a committed run for office. Currently, I serve as the Director of Admissions at Tenova Healthcare Harton. My position provides a platform to ensure quality service to people at their most significant and vulnerable time of need. I am committed to, number one, look out for the interest of the residents here in Tullahoma. Number two, serve with an honest and open lens. Number three, help bring a fresh perspective to the needs of our city. I do not consider myself a politician, but a humanitarian. The word politician is defined as a person who is professionally involved in politics, especially as a holder of or a candidate for an elected office. It also means a person who acts in a manipulative and devious way, typically to gain advancement with an organization. The word humanitarian means concerned with or seeking to improve the welfare of happiness of the people, pertaining to the saving of human lives or to the alleviation of suffering. This should be our common goal for this board. We should want our city to continue to thrive and to improve the livelihood of others. Serving not only in the capacity as a hospital administrator as well as clergy, I come with a wealth of knowledge as well as integrity to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. My care and commitment for family, friends, and my community has been constant and unwavering. Upon this foundation, I would be honored for the opportunity to serve as the next alderman for Tullahoma. Thank you.
Any alderman be recognized for questions?
I have a question. If you were to receive the nomination and be put into the position, would you run again in next year when this position is back open again?
I would.
Any other questions? Hearing none, thank you,
Thank you.
Sonoya. And next alphabetically is Ms. Jamie Moorhead.
Good evening, Mayor Manolis, Board of Aldermen, and City of Tullahoma. My name is Jamie Moorhead, and I've resided in Coffee County for about 14 years. When I moved here, I was 21, hopeless, and in need of change. I wasn't quite sure what that change was, but I know I needed something. Over my 14 years here, I've been the waitress working at the restaurants for less than minimum wage, working for tips that were not guaranteed. I'm the single mother that works 2 or 3 jobs just to make sure that my kid has what he needs. I've been the employee that works day in and day out and has yet to see the fruits of their labor. I'm the family member that has had to change their whole life to take care of kids because their loved one was on drugs or in jail, or even both. I've also been a caregiver to children that have been in foster care, and to as well as developmentally challenged adults. These experiences gave me the empathy that I feel that I needed while working as a juvenile court clerk, as well as an educational assistant for the Tullahoma High School. Through those experiences, I feel that I've met and worked with what I like to call the footworkers of this community. These people are a very fundamental part of our community. These people are the people that I want to represent. I believe that a team that has different backgrounds, perspectives, education, and experience can bring this already great city to even greater heights. It would be an honor, a privilege to be a part of that team. I have one guarantee that I can guarantee if I'm given this opportunity, and that is to put the best interests of the community at the forefront of every decision we make. I do have a prayer that I had heard when I was in medical assistant school, and it's by Terry Lynn Thompson, and it goes like this. Let me dedicate my life today to care for those who come my way. Let me touch each one with healing hands and the gentle art for which I stand. And then tonight, when the day is done, let me rest in peace if I've helped just one. My name is Jamie Moorhead, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Would any alderman care to be recognized for questions? Hearing none, thank you, Ms. Moorhead. And next, former Alderman Greg Sandler.
Thank you, Mayor, Board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight and make the case why I believe I'm the best candidate to fill this open alderman seat. I'll say a little bit about myself, why I believe I'm best qualified, and the issues I would advocate for if selected. I'm not a native Tullahoman. I'm a Tullahoman Tennessean by choice. A lot of that has to do with meeting a Tennessee girl and getting me back down here. But I am a Christian. My faith in Christ is central to my worldview and my life. I'm a husband, father to 2 great kids, engineer at ADC, a civil and environmental licensed professional engineer, also a small business owner, an elder in Covenant Presbyterian Church, and I'm a proud Rotarian. Christine and I moved here 19 years ago for a great job at ADC. We joined a church. In 2005, I joined the Tullahoma Noon Rotary Club. Right after that, I joined the Chamber of Commerce and really dug into the community. In 2009, I was elected to serve this board as an alderman with 1,100 votes, the same year that Alderman Blanks was elected. Our daughters were 7 and 11 at the time. They're 18 and 22 now, And I was just missing too much of their youth, so I did not run a second term. And I totally enjoyed my time on the board, but it was time to focus more on family at the time. While I was on the board, I was the board-appointed planning commissioner for those 3 years, served as liaison to the Airport Authority and Housing Authority, and then also to the Industrial Development Board. After my time as alderman, I stayed engaged in the community, primarily through Rotary. I was the point of contact for the Rotary Rocket Playground. Our Rotary Club teamed with the Sunrise Club and raised $120,000 to build a really cool playground that honored our aerospace heritage. That honors our aerospace heritage. Again, working with the city through the Tullahoma Sunrise Rotary Club, we raised $20,000 and got to name the Sunrise Rotary Disc Golf Course, which was designed by H.B. Clark, a really world-class golf course, disc golf course if you haven't played. In 2017, I was approached to serve on the Coffee County Public Building Authority and did so for 2 years, and I tried to regularly update this board on the status of that board and that contract. So why me? Why Greg? Well, I know the job. Even though I've been out of it for a while, I've stayed informed. I think I've met with pretty much all of you through the years to talk about city issues, things important to us. I care. It's been said before, but I'd love to see my daughters consider Tullahoma as a place to come and raise their families. They're currently in Murfreesboro, and I probably would have been too at that age, at 18 and 22. I would just promise to work diligently with you to determine the best solutions for our city. And I could hit the ground running, and I would take the responsibility very seriously. I offer my time, my talents, my many existing relationships with local, state, and even federal elected officials to always try to advance Tullahoma's interests. I would have no learning curve. I could just jump right in and be engaged. So what issues would I advocate for? We're watching the news. We watch as much as we can handle. Our nation is experiencing a great deal of division along party, worldview, racial lines. I believe that strong leadership will likely be needed from this board in just a few weeks and ongoing. So I have 3 main issues that I would advocate for. First, I challenge you to support our city police and emergency responders 100%. Ensure they have the necessary training, equipment to handle any situation that could arise. Make sure that we're paying them well enough to keep them so they're not looking at other communities. Next, economic development. Second, look for ways not just to keep our taxes flat, but let's try to lower our property taxes. That will fuel spending and economic development. Retail growth is great, Publix, Hobby Lobby, but we need to recruit, we need to generate the engineering jobs, the more medical jobs that create the good salaries that then have the spin-off retail. Support local businesses and entrepreneurs. Let's improve and simplify our building and codes process. Strive for equity in that department. Thirdly, be transparent with and accessible to our citizens. I really want to applaud Alderman Berry and Blackwell on their regular events that they invite the public just to hear their concerns. So again, these are the issues I would champion. Thanks for this opportunity, and I would pledge to just fill 1 term and not run again.
Mr. Sandlin, I believe your time has expired.
Any questions? Any questions for me? I thought I had that down below 5 minutes.
Our recorder has indicated your time has expired. And are there any aldermen that would care to be recognized for a question for Alderman Sandlin?
I don't have a question for him, but when he's done, I'd have just kind of a general short couple of statements for all of them. Or should we hold that until the
Discussion.
We'll have an opportunity for that when we come to the comments before we vote. Thank you, Mr. Sandlin. Thank you. Okay, as many of you can see, we have some excellent candidates this evening, so there's not a bad choice. That's a good thing for our city.
Awesome.
At this time, we always have an opportunity for any other citizens for comments that any other citizens that have not been recognized, anyone other than the alderman candidates. Any other comments that you care to make from the audience? Yes, please come forward, state your name
My
and
name is
address.
Kelly
and you'll have 2
Hovatter.
minutes.
Oh, tell me again what I need to tell you.
Your name, address, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Okay. My name is Kelly Hovatter, and my address is 501 Settlers Trace. I'm here on behalf of Jamie, and I just want everybody to know that she's a hard worker. I know her in a professional context. She's worked with my girls, and I appreciate what she's done in that context, but I've had an opportunity to hear her voice and her heart for this community and her desire to see change and growth in particular areas of this community, and I feel like her voice is important to be heard in her relationship with a particular population that doesn't necessarily have a strong voice. And I would love to see more of that in Tullahoma. That's it.
Thank you. Are there any others? Hearing none, we'll move into our remaining part of our agenda for this evening. We'll move on to our reports from the members of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. As is customary, we'll start on this side of the board with Ms. Alderman Hamacher.
Okay. Are we just a report in general from not necessarily?
Report on your alderman's activities.
Okay. As far as alderman activities, I haven't had very much to report on, but as far as the community is involved, I just want to encourage the public to remember that even though it's election season, that we're still neighbors, and that we still need to have the respect for each other. I know that in our neighborhood, I have to live in Mr. Sandlin's neighborhood, and we've had some defacing of signs, and I understand that, Ms. Rupa, you've had some signs stolen out of your yard, and I just want to encourage the community to have respect for each of our First Amendment rights, and to for each of us to enjoy the respect in order to put those signs out and support the candidates of your choosing, and to be involved, and thank you all for coming out here and doing your due diligence and getting involved locally, and let's just try to keep that in check and encourage people to be respectful. Disagreement is okay, disrespect is not.
Well said. Alderman Berry.
Real short. First, I want to congratulate, you already left, but Detective Gore is well deserved there. I attended along with you, and I saw Ms. Almacher there, and there may have been others I didn't see, the memorial service ceremony at the fire hall in memory of September 11th. I'm not going to say anything about that because everybody's been through that a million times. That was great, and I encourage you to attend next year if you haven't done it this year. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since our last meeting, haven't had any really committee meetings that much. With Light Tube, I think we were like plus 30-something subscribers last month. Maybe attribute that, and I'd give kudos to TUA. We're broadcasting the high school football games. My Tullahoma Wildcats, our Tullahoma Wildcats, have now beaten most of our big opponents: Shelbyville, Manchester, or Coffee County, Franklin County, and Marshall County. So we're sitting at 4-0. I don't know what we're ranked in the state, but pretty high.
3 was third.
Yeah, we traveled to Beach. I think this weekend they have a good team, so go Cats. Coach Olive can do more than any coach I've ever been around. He gets those boys up and ready to play. You played for him.
I did.
You remember.
Oh, yeah. No,
he's a class act.
Yeah, he is.
Duck River, we still have plenty of water out in Normandy. Reservoir supplies clean drinking water to the city. We take that for granted sometimes. If you lived in Africa or lived in an area where they don't have water, I think long after I'm dead, there'll probably be wars fought over water. Atlanta like to get their claws on the Tennessee River. We're not going to let that happen if we can help it, unless they just really need it real bad. But last thing I have is Shop Tullahoma. If you got to buy it here if you can. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Dunn.
Well, I'll just say, just to kind of piggyback off of what Alderman Blanks was saying, is we, as a family this week, we borrowed a microscope from Hands-On Science Center, which was awesome. So if you've not used their lending library, it is wonderful. But we took some pond water and we looked at just a drop of water, and the amount of life and just the little creatures that were in it. It was just remarkable. If you've never looked at just a drop of pond water, I highly recommend it. So thanks to the Hands-On Science Center, that's all I've got. It's amazing.
Alderman Blackwell.
Bear with me. I always have long ones. So first one I want to talk about is I met with Dr. Stevens with Tullahoma City Schools last Tuesday and spoke with her about what us as a community can do to help with their response to COVID. Because I think that, and what I got from the meeting with her, because I was trying to understand, I don't know if you guys know, but the state has essentially created a dashboard for our city school systems to utilize so that they can know what's happening more dynamically than just at a county level. So one of the things that she wanted me to make sure that I try to work with you guys and message to everybody is how important it is for our community to disclose to the school system if they have a positive test, so that they can notify people as needed to keep, not that the person's name or anything like that, but notify someone who's been in contact so they can actually keep these school systems open. And so that's something that that's how they're able to manage and actually know what's happening, so we can try to keep the schools going. It's actually called the Lethality Task Force, Coffee County Lethality Task Force. I met with DA Craig Northcott today to get his buy-in and help with our goings on with that, and I'm excited that he's going to be providing us with more cases so that we can continue to do the work that we're doing to find where we can kind of intervene and advocate and educate our community so that we can hopefully lower the instances of domestic violence that we have. Jefferson Street Park, this is kind of separate from what I've been doing as an alderman, but fundraising has gone really well. We actually started work, and I wanted to thank Kurt Glick very much for his help. We were able to cut out already the large piece that's sunken in and have re-poured concrete, and the next step, I think, is September 18th, and there's going to be power washing happening. So it's moving along, and I'm really excited, and there's some other cool stuff that I will hopefully have nailed down that I can announce in a couple weeks. We had to do what? Do you need volunteers? Not for the power washing, but there is something that we will need volunteers for probably at the end of September. So we have this Friends of Jefferson Street Park group that we've created, and I'm going to reach out to them with this possible opportunity that I think is going to be really cool, but I can't really talk about quite yet. We had the Special Planning Commission meeting, which is what it is, and Diversity Council. I wanted to just give you guys an update. About a month and a half ago, we met and started discussing bylaws, and Stacy Lynch is actually working on writing those right now, and is going to send around for the bylaws committee to take a look at before it comes to you guys. But that's the update I have as of now. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. All of them have been pretty busy. Mayor's been busy too. August 27th, Partners for Healing reception in Normandy. Friday the 28th, coffee pot game. No cats. Monday 31st, a special call meeting for the Planning Commission.
Mm-hmm.
September the 1st, a Zoom meeting with TAEDC. September the 2nd, presentation to South Jackson Community Center for their great work they've done with their enhancement of their landscaping there on behalf of the Tullahoma Pride. Great job there, Greg. On the 3rd, meeting with our new school superintendent, Ms. Stevens. And she has some great ideas for our school system, and I'm looking forward to great things from that. August the 8th, or September the 8th, Arnold Community Council. That was in the morning. In the evening, it was an airport meeting on the 11th. As many of you mentioned, we had an awesome meeting for 9/11 tribute to the firefighters and first responders there, and to see the firefighters who had been training to do the stair climb in Nashville. Didn't do the stair climb in Nashville, they did the stair climb at the Tullahoma Stadium. There are six sets of stairs going up the stadium. Don't know exactly how many steps, but it's all the way to the top. They did 6 up, 6 down, 4 loops around that stadium doing that. I was amazed. They all survived, right, Richard? They did survive. I was very, very proud of our firemen and our first responders in that respect. Now then, we'll have our report from our city attorney.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have a report tonight. I did report to you all earlier about the status of the property tax collections we're working on, and that's all we're doing right now.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Worsham. City Administrator's report, Ms. Moody.
Okay, I would like to mention just a few meetings. I attended the Chamber Board of Directors meeting, as you know, just recently joined that board, and can report they're having a phenomenal year, I think, in spite of everything, and making as many adjustments as they can. Still have over 400 members, and want to be sure to thank our business community for continuing to support the Chamber and be members of the Chamber at this time. We also have a net gain of 18 members for this year, and they have a couple of events planned. Upcoming 5K that they're calling the Gobble Wobble, so be looking out for more information on that. I want to share with you a couple of developments I think are really exciting. All of last calendar year, we did not have a major subdivision approved in the city of Tullahoma. This year is a whole nother year. We have been very busy in the planning and building codes department. At this time, the Woodland subdivision, which is along Avoca, between Riley Creek and Avoca Road, I just wanted to mention to you that they'll be beginning some logging out there, and I know you may get phone calls asking what's going on. That is the Woodland subdivision with about 45 proposed homes. We also are reviewing construction plans for Pinnacle Point, which is also along Avoca Road, another about 20 to 22 lots in that subdivision. And on Monday's Planning Commission agenda, we have a 9-lot subdivision proposed along Old Shelbyville Highway, just past Shandell Air Park. So I just tell you, that's close to 80 new homes coming to Tullahoma. Pretty exciting. I also wanted to share with you, I've been working on a recommendation for all of you, and I think what I'd like to do, it's a recommendation with our annual paving list of streets for you to approve. It includes vehicle and equipment purchases, some capital projects, and what I'm working on showing you is where several different sources of funding are being used to carry out these projects. But the primary order of business will be to approve the list of streets and to approve how we allocate the $457,000 from the governor's local support grant. So what I propose to do is get that to you this week so that you have plenty of time to ask me questions, review it, before I put the recommendation on the next board meeting agenda. And then last, I just wanted to remind you, we do have an training scheduled for 4 p.m. before the next board meeting, and that is with our MTAS management consultant, Hannah Rogers. She's going to be here to review the parliamentary procedures and code of ethics with you. Thank you.
And that's 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock, yep.
On the 28th?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next will be the consent agenda, and let me remind you that all matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine.
I'm so sorry, but we've been here for 2 hours. May we take a
Oh my
4
goodness,
minute-
thank goodness
Sorry.
you're asking.
I'm sorry. Can we take a 4-minute restroom break?
Yes.
That's the first time in 13
I'm
years.
sorry.
No, and I'm so glad did you. I need to go to the restroom.
We've all been drinking
I suppose. Okay, we will take a 5-minute break.
Must have liked a camel.
By decree. By decree, we will take a break.
Okay. Okay, good.
I will say that that's why I scheduled the training for 4, so you can have a break.
Time's wasting.
Okay, so we can go back.
Time's a waste. Run.
Yeah, no, you're fine, you're fine.
Front page news.
No, she had written a note. I heard that she was like, I have to go.
You were here for the earlier meeting also, weren't you?
We were here, but I am going to stretch my legs since we're allowed to.
You all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of those things, I forget that this does not amplify.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes I don't speak loudly because I'm thinking you can hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
I'll do that.
Okay, just give me like a something.
Well, I'll do, like, sometimes my mom will come, and every time I look back at her, she's like, and I'll lean in, and I forget that those aren't. And I start to mumble.
Oh, are those speakers?
Yes.
And so when you move your paper,
Or when you click your pen.
I do that.
I get a text.
Okay, my bad. Y'all could have told me that.
Take my pen.
I've never needed speakers. I'm so wild anyway.
That's for the television.
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't even know that.
Could they cut the camera off while we're
No, we're still mic'd.
Well, that's why we'll try to give you a break before the next, between the training and the meeting.
I'm like, did you see that I wrote down?
Yes, I thought will.
Thank you. That was a good break from
Good breaking point.
well,
Good breaking point.
yes. Is that a cross pen?
Jennifer, did you? Johnson Lane says not vandalized again.
Tell me again.
Johnson Lane.
Johnson Lane, somebody vandalized it
I did
again?
not hear that. Today, that happened
just
this
heard.
weekend?
I don't know, I just heard somebody just messaged. So it looks like a four-wheeler's driven over the fields.
That's what we put the fence up for. Supposed to stop that. But I wonder if it was a four-wheeler, they probably could fit through the sidewalk.
I think everybody's better.
We will resume.
Started on the consent agenda.
At this point, we will go into the consent agenda, and I will remind you that all matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or a citizen so requests, and in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. So during that portion of the meeting reserved for comments from citizens as shown on the agenda, citizens may request that the board remove an item from the consent agenda so that discussion may be held on that item. Having heard none, I will read the captions for the consent agenda. Included are the minutes from the August 24th board meeting. It's number 2083. Number 2084 will be approved bids and contract and award contract to H&L Johnson Mulch Company in the amount not to exceed $43,000 or for annual brush grinding and debris removal services. Item number 2085. Number 2084 will be approve the purchase in the amount obtaining totaling $88,299.61 from Patterson Pope for furnishing, including forensic evidence drying cabinets, fume hood, evidence locker, and high-density shelving for the new Tullahoma Police Department. Number 2086, there will be 2 vacancies on the board of Tullahoma Area Economic Development Commission. 2087 will announce 2 vacancies on the city's tree board. And number 2088, accept a donation from a scoreboard valued at approximately $4,000 from the Frank Mullins Football League for the Tullahoma Parks and Recreation Department. Entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Blackwell, second by Blanks.
Mr. Mayor, actually, I have a few questions on item number 20-84. Is there any way we can remove that from the consent agenda? Because there are some things, some questions I have.
We'll move that to the end of the line after we'll make that number 12 on the new business agenda then.
Apologize for the delay.
Say again?
I said I apologize for the delay.
Do I need to amend my motion?
You will need to amend your motion with the exception of item 2084.
So I'd like to amend my motion to accept item 20-84.
A second?
Second.
You have a second by Alderman Blackwell and a second from Mr. Alderman Blanks. All in favor say aye.
Or green.
Or vote green.
I think I did this thing right.
Okay, let's take that vote again. There we go. All right, we'll lit up like a Christmas tree. There you go.
And we have 6-0.
So we're moving that.
So we're removing item 2084 and we'll remove that to the end of our new business. Okay. Now then, is there any other old business? Hearing no other old business, we'll go into new business. And for new business, we will be considering the nominations and appointment of an applicant to fill the vacancy of the Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen for the remainder of the unexpired term, ending upon the election of a qualified remainder of the August 2020 election. You have heard the candidates. At this time, I will, before I open the board, I will read a statement for clarification. As you know, we do have multiple applicants tonight. Thank you. So it's anticipated that there may be multiple nominations and that a majority vote, or 4 votes, is required for election. So more than one round of voting can be expected. So all candidates that receive nominations from the board will remain in the voting pool for subsequent rounds of voting unless a candidate asks that their name be removed, or unless a board member that's making the nomination asks that their nominee's board be removed. Is there any question about that? Okay, with that, we will entertain motions for nominees for the vacant seat of Alderman.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Jackie Duncan as the filling Alderman.
Blanks.
Unexpired term.
Nominates
Jackie
Duncan.
Duncan, yes.
I will remind you that nominations do not require a second. I believe you're next, Mr. Alderman Alderman.
I'd like to
Berry.
nominate Zenobia McGee.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Greg Sandlin.
Alderman Almacher. Sandlin.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate
Ms. Dunn.
Jamie Moorhead, please.
Okay. We have nominations from Blanks, Berry, Almacher, and Dunn. Are there others? Hearing none. Scolding, could you prepare paper ballot?
Yes, sir. Your name is written on the bottom. Could you correct one? Oops.
Sorry.
I had them all in order. There we go. There we go. And then pass them this way and I'll read them. Please, thank you. Mayor Noes voted for Duncan. Alderman Dunn voted for Jamie Moorhead. Mayor Pro Tem Blanks voted for Duncan. Alderman Blackwell voted for Jamie Moorhead. Alderman Berry voted for Nobia McGee. And Alderman Almacher voted for Greg Sandlin. So we got 2-2-1-1.
We got 2-2 and 1-1. In keeping with our previously stated process, we will keep all the nominees in the pool unless any candidate wishes to be removed or unless any nominating alderman wishes to remove a nominee. Hearing none, we'll have another go-round.
You'll notice there's a number 2 on the upper right-hand corner for the second round. Alderman Almacher voted for Greg Sandlin. Alderman Blackwell voted for Jamie Moorhead. Alderman Dunn voted for Jamie Moorhead. Mayor Pro Tem Blanks voted for Duncan. Mayor Noes voted for Duncan. And Barry voted for Nobia McGee. 2-2-1-1.
We'll have another round. Does there any candidate wish to have their name removed? Does any alderman nominating a candidate wish to have their candidate removed? Hearing none, round 3.
Also, this has number 3 on here.
Thank you.
Oh, good call.
Alderman Blackwell voted for Jamie Moorhead. Mayor Noes voted for Duncan. Alderman Dunn voted for Jamie Moorhead. Alderman Almacher voted for Greg Sandlin. Alderman Berry voted for Nobia McGee. Yes? All right, getting it. Alderman, Mayor Pro Tem voted for Duncan. So 2-2-1-1 again.
Will we do the white smoke?
What is the recourse? Mr. Mayor, may I speak? So let's say we can't get past this. What happens? Mr. Worsham, I'm not sure, maybe you can answer that based on our charter. what the next step is if the board is deadlocked.
Actually, the charter is silent about that. It simply says that within a month from when a vacancy is announced, we will have an election. And there's nothing in the charter that indicates how that will be done, except it takes a majority vote. So if we have an impasse like this, I think it's incumbent upon someone to remove themselves from competition. But I think that's the only alternative. The other thing we can do, if we can't resolve it, is we're going to have to entertain other nominations and start all over.
Well, Mr. Mayor, may I speak a few words?
Sure.
To the city of Tullahoma, to the board, I think we have an excellent group of candidates, and I want to thank each and every one of you for placing your names in the hat. And as you can tell, this is a very difficult decision. I think it is incumbent upon us to come to a decision. We have some really great candidates, and I do want to say that my unwavering support for Mr. Sandlin is a direct result of the constituents. I have been contacted over and over and over again by multiple people saying, hey, Greg's your guy, Greg's your guy, Greg's your guy. And I feel that it's not incumbent upon me to substitute my own judgment for the will of the majority. And so I want to let everybody know that if we can't come to a decision tonight, that this is definitely something that we all need to be, not just be making our own decisions about. We need to be reaching out to our constituents, and this needs to be a decision that if the constituents had voted, who would they have voted for? And so I feel like that's very important if we have to go past tonight for us to all consider.
I believe our council has made it clear that it's incumbent upon us as a board to fill this position. Is that correct, Council?
Correct.
So I think we're bound.
Well, absolutely, but we need to consider that we work for the people, and who would the people want in that position had they voted?
Okay, with that, we'll do round 4.
If I may I speak as well?
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor. No. The challenge set before us tonight is to not find the person who will best stand with us, agreeing with our fundamental beliefs, but to find a person to represent those who are already underrepresented, those who are already do not have or feel they do not have direct access to the board. For this reason, I thought it vitally important that I nominate a person who I did not know already. How could an acquaintance of mine best represent the underrepresented? To select an acquaintance grows dangerously close to the practice of cronyism, a practice that plagues small-town America not out because leaders behave maliciously, but because they fail to look beyond their scope of familiarity. Miss Moorhead lives in a part of town that I do not live in. She interacts with people and hears people that I do not interact with. She has made a daily action of serving, valuing, and loving an invisible and underrepresented people of Tullahoma, including children, adults with special needs, and young people in the Coffee County court system. As a business owner and a property owner, I know that she would carefully consider any taxation or ordinance that could potentially harm her business, her clients, or others in the community. Board, it is through long prayer and meditation that I have enthusiastically come to nominate Jamie Moorhead, someone to represent the underrepresented, and someone who I, until tonight, had never met.
Prepare round 4.
Alderman Dunn voted for Jackie Moorhead. Mayor Noes voted for Duncan. Alderman Blackwell voted for Jamie Moorhead. Alderman Berry voted for Zenobia McGee. Alderman Almacher voted for Greg Sandlin. And Mayor Pro Tem voted for Duncan. 2-1-1. Duncan had 2.
Duncan had 2. Who else had 2?
Moorhead had 2. Greg Sandlin had 1. And Zenobia McGee had 1. Same. Same.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, Alderman.
Something that I'm looking for, we're kind of in a weird spot, right? I know that we're elected to do this and our charter says this, but I feel really funny making this decision. But it's what we signed up to do. And so I look at this kind of as a resident and as an alderman and things that I want. I don't want somebody who is, and you touched on this, and I agree, I don't want somebody who is always going to vote the same way that I am going to vote. It's more important to me that they vote because they believe that it's right. And it's the right thing to do. And there'll be times where I disagree with whoever it is, and that's okay. What's important to me is we all, I call it aldermaning, we all aldermen a little bit different than each other. But I feel that most of us are increasingly more proactive, and that's important to me. Somebody who is boots on the ground and is seeking out the issues that our residents and our businesses face versus kind of setting back on our heels and waiting for them to come to us. I realize it is a two-way street, but it's important to me that whoever we choose isn't this, I don't think we're choosing a substitute alderman to take the place until the next election. We're trying to choose somebody here who the people, they deserve. And I personally don't care if they have further aspirations. I kind of hope that they do, because that means they're going to try a little bit harder, hopefully. And that's the reasons that I picked Zenobia. Zenobia's been active in our community for years. I don't want to say how long, so don't talk about a lady's age. But she has been active, and she has shown these things. She's been a member of our community, and as have others. I won't say a name, but there was somebody who I reached out to, and the reason I won't vote for them is one of the things that they told me when I tried to seek help in reaching out to certain communities that I was not able to, that it wasn't worth my time, that they're pretty good about reaching out when they need somebody. And that didn't set well with me. It still doesn't set well with me, because I don't think that that's, I know that that's not right as I've gotten in and been able to meet members of the community. That's why I support Zenobia, because I've seen her and because I have reached out. I think it is important that we have talked to. I'm sure all of us have. I don't think that any of us are, I hope that none of us are sitting up here. I'm sure we've all reached out and talked to constituents and had people and fielded these phone calls. And we all probably get slightly different experiences because we all have different spheres of influence, and it's our own circles sometimes where we're hearing in an echo chamber. And I'm rambling, but that's what I wanted to say earlier. Is those are the things that are important to me. That they're proactive, that they're willing to put in time and not just show up twice a month. Because I don't think that's the role of the alderman.
Can I make a comment as well, if you're done? What's interesting, and the reason why I was so excited to see Jamie Moorhead's application is that without realizing it, for the past 2, maybe 3 years, I have been hearing about her from all these random people in the community. From my sister's best friend who she runs with, right? From someone I go to wine club with. Yes, I go to wine club. And it's people who don't all interact together, but yet they have gone to her for counsel, for advice, for her knowledge, and everybody says the same thing, that she has been open, empathetic, communicative, that she is a go-getter. I mean, people who have, gone to her business, and people who have that she's taken self-defense courses with, and in the end, it seemed like, for me, it was all coming together because this person who I've heard about, now I see their application in front of me, and that's why, to me, you're already out there interacting with all these different people and able to bring all this different knowledge to it. I think it's something we need here. That's it. Shorter than usual.
I just want to tag one small thing. Thank you to
Yes.
all the candidates. A year ago, I didn't know what I was getting into. But as you get in, and it is a big weight, and the fact that you're willing to take that on, and even to take the time to stand here before the board, that had to be extremely nerve-wracking. So I thank you, and I thank the people that showed up to support you. And whatever happens tonight, I would love to see, and I'm not saying anything about other candidates from previous, this is a great caliber of people, and I encourage you to, there's going to be an election next year, and I encourage you to, that should be the last one until 2022, hopefully, and then until 2026, right? But I encourage you to press on, and I encourage you to stay involved, and won't let this discourage you. It's uplifting to me.
Oh, yeah.
To see people who want to be engaged.
Ballot for round 4?
Nope, it's 5.
Yeah, I guess I want to thank Alderman Almacher for her nomination. I did feel I would have a lot to contribute to this board, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get a second vote. So I will withdraw my nomination, and I will challenge the board. The idea, I think it's important that we put really competent people at every position that we can. Life experiences feed into that, but I'm not questioning the competency of any of the candidates, but it is a function. This is the work you do is important. You provide the leadership to the police force, to the fire department, to the entire city and its function. And you need people with strong leadership skills who can hear the heartbeat of leaders in the community to advance what's best for Tullahoma. But I withdraw my nomination. I wish you Godspeed in selecting somebody who's going to best represent all of Tullahoma and that can provide a perspective that's healthy for all. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Mr. Sandlin.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to shake Mr. Sandlin's hand. Thank you so much for coming out and being willing to serve your community.
This is number 5.
Mr. Mayor, I have a comment to make. I think that we still are left with an excellent group of candidates, and hopefully with one dropping out, that will, and with the comments from all of us, we can continue to think about. I do think it's important that we vote for people who have already have a standing relationship in our community, and can help repair some of the damage in our community, and not contribute to the divide, especially with our rhetoric and our race relations and everything that our community and with our diversity. And so I want to encourage the board to really think about what's best for Tullahoma.
Round 5.
Stretch it.
Alderman Berry voted for Zenobia McGee. Alderman Blackwell voted for Jamie Moorhead. Mayor Noes voted for Duncan. Alderman Almacher voted for Zenobia McGee. Mayor Pro Tem Blanks voted for Duncan. And Alderman Dunn voted for Jamie Moorhead. 2, 2, 2.
Getting there.
One closer.
Round 6.
Y'all got my Tourette's going.
Can I tell you that this time last year, it was the police chief vote? Do you remember that? That set me into labor.
You aren't saying that you're pregnant.
No, I'm not pregnant. Okay. No, we had those tubes out. We're good.
It's about the same.
It was our second meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was sitting there writing down. I don't know if Jimmy noticed, but I was writing down when my contractions were coming.
I was ready to birth a baby.
Round 6.
You're too young.
I remember.
I think I need to switch to water. This tea's getting.
Did you bring enough note cards?
Oh my gosh.
Gotta stay.
One more round.
6. All right, so we have Dunn with Moorhead, voted for Moorhead. Mayor Pro Tem Blanks voted for Duncan. Blackwell voted for Jamie Moorhead. Mayor Noes voted for Duncan. Alderman Almacher voted for Zenobia McGee. And Alderman Berry voted for Zenobia McGee. 2-2-2.
What about paper, rock, scissors?
Mayor Dawes, may I speak for a second?
Please come to the podium.
As the only unnominated applicant tonight, this is just to throw this out. You might vote for your top 2 selections. Each of you, number 1, number 2. You count the top selection vote. There's no winner. You go to the second, who that person would like to see, other than their person that they're voting for, number 1. So each of you get to vote for your top 2 selections. I don't know if this is legal or not.
I know.
But it's happened. This is a voting scheme that's used all over the country. So that way you can, if you don't have to keep going, you may be able to have some kind of consensus, but it is your vote that you're casting. Your number 1 choice and your number 2 choice. It's just an idea. Throw it out.
Ladies, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I appreciate your comments. It's done in some circles that I don't believe it's done here. Thank you. No for horse shows.
Did you say horse shows? Oh, it's time for horse shows.
That's what he said.
It would be, I happen to like the suggestion, and given what Mr. Worsham did tell us, that it is really up to the board, and we have some, Mr. Mayor, you have some leeway in how you want to see this conducted. We are going to have to do something of the sort, or set at probably another meeting, wouldn't you suggest?
I'm in agreement.
Actually, we don't have that option.
Well, as long as we make the nomination within 30 days. And how far out are we?
This could be postponed. It's just a regular motion, correct?
That's right.
We're at our month right now.
No.
Oh, we are.
Are we?
election.
Since
No, August 26th is when you step down.
correct.
So we have 30 days from that day.
That's true.
You have a month from
Yes.
From
So
the
we
day
actually
you
have until
resign.
September 26th.
Ish, or maybe the
Ish.
25th.
Right. So we could set a special set meeting.
What you could do is recess this meeting until a later date, May 1st.
Or we could continue on with the agenda and just set this portion aside to have a special set meeting.
Well, now, I would ask, what's going to change? What's going to change?
Maybe we all should reach out to the community once again to see who
I would.
they would choose. Again, we are a representative of the people. We are not up here to be dictators or to put our best friend in. We are supposed to do what the will of the majority elects us to do, not to just choose somebody that we want. And I want to encourage you, all of us to remember that is our role.
I remember that. Jack, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but Jackie is not here. Should we call him and ask? He doesn't have the opportunity to step out if he wants. Should somebody call him and ask if he
That's
wants
right.
to step out? You explain the situation. I'm not saying that he would want to, but he's not here to take that opportunity
That's right.
if he wants to take that opportunity.
I think a lot could change, give somebody some time to think about whether or not they want to remain in the race. And we could also ask for more again, talk to our community, talk to our constituents. But Mr. Mayor, that's completely up to you.
I think it would be a motion from one of them.
Okay, I would like to make a motion that we adjourn this portion of tonight's meeting.
Postpone.
And postpone it until, for a special set meeting 1 week from today.
You're just pulling item number 2089, not the rest of the stuff going on, correct?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
This also for the appropriate word would be recess it until that time.
Yes.
Not adjourned.
Thank you. We would like to
Could-
recess this. Thank
Could we
you.
not just, using Robert's rules, make a motion to postpone this item until a set date and then continue on with the
Well, I
meeting?
think we should recess it in case we don't resolve it next time. We still have the opportunity to do it within a month. If we postpone it, we've got.
Postpone, you can set the
I think
date.
Robert's
Table,
rules say
you
that.
can, so if you postpone it, you give it a date.
No, you can
On
do
a
that.
table,
That might be
if you table it, then you have to, it has to be brought back up before it
Do
can
it
be,
within the month.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess my motion is to postpone and set a special set meeting for this specific election.
And you're also only item number 20-89.
Only item 20-81, is that correct? 89, excuse me, 20-89, yes.
Do you have a second?
We have no second. This motion dies. No lack of a second.
May I ask another thing, though? Could we just put this down, and so we can get, in case there's anybody here wanting to hear about the UDAG grant or the school budget, can we move that and move on through that?
Well, I'll entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to put 20-89 after number 11.
No, because,
Let's
sorry.
go
Wait,
to number
had-
13 because we've moved
Oh, yeah, so to number 13.
2084.
Yes, so that we can at least move through the rest of the business so that people who are here, if there's anyone wanting to speak to it, can get out if they don't want to be here.
Okay, we have a motion to move it to the end of the
I don't know if
agenda.
we can do that.
We can't, why couldn't we?
Is there a second for?
Second.
Ms. Almakers? We have a second.
Ms. Blackwell.
Any further discussion on that?
No.
Not going to vote on moving that to the end of the agenda.
Alderman Almacher, would you like to vote on that?
Okay. Moving back to new business. Resolution. Resolution number 1850. A resolution by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to approve an Urban Development Action Grant, a UDAG grant, a loan for Heart and Family Partners in the amount of $200,000 to support an expanding business in the city of Tullahoma.
Make a
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Alderman Barrett, seconded by Alderman Blackwell.
I had a question about this. Their business is on Cedar Lane. It's, the name of it was A Neighbor's Home. Are they planning on taking that whole building over? I saw where they were hoping to employ 200 people. Did I read that wrong?
No.
Says within 5 years, though.
The background on it says that that the budget amendment reflects the changes in anticipated. What, I'm reading the wrong one.
Page 73.
73, excuse me. That grant is for $200,000. Proceeds will be used to renovate the commercial building on 1400 Cedar Lane to accommodate the expansion of the current commercial building. The current tenant is Naval Corp. The Naval Corp is currently hiring and plans to add 100 employees this year, increasing their total employment to 200 over the next 5 years at this location. And I believe that
It just says renovate, it doesn't say expand, correct?
Not this, if I may.
Please.
Not this year. When they go over 100, then the plans are, as I understand, to build the building towards the back, towards the creek.
Well, that was my question, because, you know, there's not enough room in that building to have 200 people unless it was a sweatshop. Definitely they don't have 200 parking places, or 100, or even 20. So, you know, I looked at that and was thinking, you know, it's great if they can employ 200 people, but they don't have room right there to employ 200 people, even if they just renovate or expand. You know, that's, I know UDAG is, we look at this and most of the time we vote for these through. I don't think we've ever not voted one of these through because the money is there, but it's always, you know, it's supposed to be for job growth.
Yes.
So that's something we really need to look at. And, you know, I don't know if that's pie in the sky 200. I hope it's right, but I always question when it looks too good. So just I'll hold their feet to the fire and say, I want 200 people there then, you know, build it out or build it up or whatever.
Ms. Moody, you've had some discussions with the applicant.
I wanted to ask if I could recognize Ms. Wilson. She serves on the committee that considers the UDAC loans. And I wondered if you could share with us, what did they present as far as a development plan and to support the 200 jobs over the next 5 years?
What they had given to us were actual drawings. They have building drawings with the intention of being able to bring in 100 people now, and then, as we were discussing, move backwards, add on to the building for the rest of them. But they definitely are expecting to go to 200.
And if I may add to that, remember that whether it's 120 or 200, there's shift work, so not everybody's there at the same time.
Well, maybe around 2 or 3 shifts.
Yeah.
These are good paying jobs too, right? They're 18 and 20 and up. Good paying jobs.
Well, if they shift it out, then you're parking. The reason I'm hyper acute about parking is because we run out of parking. You know, we're going to have to put more parking in. So.
Any further discussion?
Sorry to digress.
All in favor? Vote green.
Passed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pass 6, 7.
Pass 6-0.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Sorry.
Look at that.
I don't usually.
Resolution number 1851, a resolution to amend the city budget 2021, the general purpose school budget is needed to adjust for reduced state BEP funding for teacher salary adjustments and to add 2 new nursing positions and a deputy director position. Entertain a motion.
Move to approve. That's me.
Second.
Motion by Blackwell, second by Blanks. Any discussion?
Yeah, you're the liaison.
Oh, what's your question?
Well, they're wanting to add a nurse in every school
Yes.
or the elementary schools?
Yeah, they all have nurses now.
Okay. Well, they will have when we fund this.
Yes, I think that
They already do it.
I think they're already hired, right?
So they already did it.
Yes.
Well, sometimes we do stuff, they do stuff, and we do stuff, and it's already, there's already blockades up on the alley.
Before it
There you go.
happens.
There's a nurse in each school, yes.
It is a school board.
My
so-
question is, we're going to fund the nurses and then the deputy director position that has been vacant?
And I think that they have just hired that, too.
Created
Yes,
that.
they just created and hired
I
that.
don't think
Isn't
they
that
created
April
it.
Norris?
They did create it? I thought it was vacant.
It was created, isn't it?
created.
I don't know. It seems like a really poor time to create a new position.
Can I, and maybe Ms. Moody, you might know, when I read this, I was just, is this just kind of like the changing of money? Or are we giving them more funding?
The BWS.
We're not giving them more funding, they're changing the amount that was given to them by the state BEP program.
Okay.
And then the way that they're using the funding.
Okay.
But
we have to pass their budget, correct, Ms. Wilson?
In their entirety, they're responsible for their line items. What they're doing is giving us how they are moving things within, so that.
So we don't have to come up with any more money?
No, we're not giving them any more money.
are they going to come back in next year and say,
That's kind of-
because we hired this person, we need to up the budget?
Well, kind of what I'm alluding to is that in the future, when the state does properly fund, which let's just pray that the state properly funds our teachers, when they do start changing how much they're funding, would we be responsible for more positions than there are right now?
We are responsible for maintenance of effort, so the
Okay.
allocation that we make to the schools can never be reduced from the amount that we gave this year.
Okay.
But we have no obligation to increase it.
I understand. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Thank you.
That was
Yes.
always in years past, that it was, if you give them more, you can't ever go back. Even in down times, if we were in a depression, so to speak, we've approved this amount and we got to stay there. So that was my question about this.
Thank you.
Just make sure we're not bumping up and having to fund that, whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it very much.
All in favor, vote green. Passes 6-0. Next resolution is ordinance number 1544, an ordinance to amend the zoning map in the city of Tullahoma and set forth in the municipal code, which is ordinance number 1392, to rezone 3 parcels of approximately 6/10 combined acres, especially 713, 715, 717 on East Lincoln Street. This is generally across the street from Dameron's Restaurant. It's on the tax map, 124K. And it's from C2, currently C2 General Commercial District to R3 High Density Residential District for passage on first of 2 readings. And with this resolution, we'll set a public hearing for Monday, September the 28th at 5:30. Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second by Alderman Berry. This comes with favorable recommendation from the planning commission. Any discussion?
Did we have any comments from the neighborhood and the planning commission on this?
This will be the first reading. This will be the first. We'll have a public hearing next Monday.
Okay,
Only the applicant appeared at the public hearing at Planning Commission.
okay.
So all in favor, vote green.
Passes 6-0.
Passes 6-0. Now we'll go back to from the consent agenda, item 2084, to approve bids and awards for H.R. Johnson for multi-grinding and debris removal services. That's on page 28. You can look at that. So, Murphy, you got a question?
Yes. So I guess I need to direct this at you, Ms. Moody, because you'll probably know the answer to it. Okay, so $43,000, is this the same company that we have awarded the contract to previously?
We have in years past.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Sue.
We've had H.L. Johnson for many years. They've been a federal bidder on.
Okay, so they have been serving this past year. The reason I ask is on our city website, I went through this personally for the summer. I had a tornado rip through my neighborhood and knocked the biggest tree down that existed in my yard that's probably been there for 100+ years. And it created a mess. And when I went to our city's website about debris removal, I had the hardest time getting somebody out there to pick up what they were supposed to pick up. And then on our city's website, it said that for an extra charge, you could you could pay by the ton, and they would get it by the ton, because otherwise you could only pick up like the size of like a sofa. And when I called Public Works in order to set that up, they said, "Oh, well, we're not offering that right now. We're too backlogged. We can't keep up with the demands and the needs of the city." So was this Public Works or was this company? Because if we are, I'm concerned that if they were too backlogged then, and we were to have another tornadic outbreak, what's in the contract as far as the services that they have to provide for the monies in here?
Well, I can speak to the fact that the collection is done by our staff, so it's Public Works that's driving and collecting brush, and then bringing it back to our facility where this company is coming on site, grinding the brush and taking it with them.
So they only come to our facilities and grind and take them with them. So they don't have, so when you're saying debris removal, they are not actually removing it from the residents.
Correct.
They are only removing it from the city.
Correct.
At the dump, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason I hesitated.
And it was competitively bid. Okay.
Yeah, and the reason I hesitated earlier is that I know we've had arrangements in the past, and I wasn't aware if it was this company or not, but we've had arrangements in the past where maybe we've been able to give it away rather than having to pay a fee for removal. And it's just, I think there's...
That's interesting. Okay.
When there's an end user that can take it, like a furniture company or someone like that.
Have we looked into that before we have awarded this contract to see if there's anybody that wanted it, so we didn't have to pay somebody to take it away?
Yes, we do. It's very much like our recycling commodities. The market changes, and that's just one item that I wanted to point out is we've had to pay for removal. I think because there's been so many storms, this was an issue in Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, where I was as well. It's there's so much brush.
It's ominous.
I'm trying to shut up.
Okay, well, so you've answered my question. Sorry about that. When I read it, I wasn't sure if it was talking about actually removing it from the dump or the actual collection.
Yeah.
So I guess my bone to pick is going to be with collection.
I'll entertain a motion to approve item number 2084.
Yeah, I moved.
Second.
Second by Black.
And done seconded. Oh, wait, oh, sorry.
Whoever.
We can all.
We all screamed out at the same.
All in favor? Aye. Say green. Passes 6-0. Now then, we're back to item number 2089.
Mr. Mayor, is it possible to move, I'd like to make a motion to move to the beer board meeting.
Oh, yeah.
And then come back to this meeting.
You gotta close.
I'll entertain that. We can.
Are we allowed to do
that?
Are we allowed- If not, that's okay,
We can adjourn this meeting. We can adjourn. We don't have to have a vote on adjourning this meeting. We will
But then do we
adjourn
have
and
to-
coming back to 2089. We will come back to 2089.
Is it okay?
I'm staring at Jennifer.
And we will go to the beer board meeting. Okay, the consent agenda, the minutes of the August 24th meeting.
I think you have to have, if we're doing Robert's rules, you've got to get a motion in a second to adjourn.
Or to recess, is that what you're saying?
I was just asking if it was.
To enter into the beer
Yeah,
board.
I was just asking if we could move into the beer board and come back in. Is that even a possibility?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion to
Just recess and come back.
Second.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Do we have to vote on that?
All in favor, vote green. Motion back. Passes 6-0. Okay. Consent agenda. The minutes from the August 24th beer board meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Good.
Minutes.
Old business. Item number 20, BB 23, beer board application.
So we're voting on the minutes, right?
We're voting on the minutes.
And it is, sorry.
6-0.
A little slow here.
It's okay.
All right, now,
So-
thank you.
Now then, we'll go to the old business, and we apologize to Ms. Serena Warren for last month's meeting when we didn't get to her quite timely. It's not much sooner tonight. But tonight, we have a beer application for off-premises permit for a new business, Dollar General Store, 955 Road, located at 901 East Lincoln Street. The local manager is Ms. Selena Warren. She intends to be the manager in charge of beer sales and consider approval subject to the final fire inspection. Have we had that yet?
Yeah, we're good.
The fire inspection is good. Okay. Ms. Warren, would you care to come to the podium? Ms. Warren, you're the applicant and you intend to be the manager in charge of the beer sales there, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you read the rules for sale of beer in Tullahoma? You're familiar with those rules then?
Yes, sir.
Then you're familiar with when you can and when you cannot sell beer. When can you not sell beer?
In my store, I can sell beer 8 to 10, Monday through Saturday, and then on Sunday it's 10 to 10.
Okay. You're aware that selling beer to minors is a severe offense. What do you have in place to ensure that you don't sell beer to minors?
We have CBL training, and then we do the IDs. We make sure that no one sells it to any other age. If they do, they're terminated right on the spot.
And you're familiar with the penalties for selling beer to minors? Okay. Is there any questions you have about your beer application?
No, sir.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
We've got a motion, Ms. Black, the second, Ms. Dunn. Any discussion? All in favor, vote green. Good luck. Thank you for your business, and thank you for doing your business in Tullahoma. We apologize for the delay in previous meeting. We apologize for the delay in tonight's meeting, but we have to conduct it. So thank you.
Like, what meeting did we walk into today?
We will now go back to resume item number 2089. Before we
Mr. Mayor,
take another round of voting, we'll ask if there are any other comments that anyone would care to make before we make for
Mr. Mayor, I did think it would probably be appropriate if we wanted to reach out to Mr. Duncan, since he doesn't know he has the option to remove his name since he's not here, to know that the board is deadlocked.
Let's vote one more time.
Okay, that's fine.
If this goes 4 rounds, I'm gonna have to use the restroom.
Oh, potty breaks.
Should have put a
Round 7.
present, must be present to win.
Yes, must be present to win.
Could use an Advil.
So bad.
Alderman Almaco voted for Zenobia McGee. Alderman Blackwell voted for Jamie Moorhead. Alderman Dunn voted for Jamie Moorhead. Mayor Pro Tem Blanks voted for McGee. Mayor Noes voted for Duncan. And Alderman Berry voted for McGee. So we have 3, 2, 1. 3 for McGee, 2 for Moorhead, and 1 for Duncan.
Prepare the next ballot, number 8.
Number 8, coming up. And this is round number 8. Almacher voted for McGee. Dunn voted for McGee. Blanks voted for McGee. Noes voted for McGee. Blackwell voted for Moorhead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Barry.
I turned mine in. Ms. McGee.
Number 8. Barry voted for McGee. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for McGee, 1 for Moorhead.
Ms. McGee, would you care to address the board?
This is your I'm going to Disney World moment.
If you will keep it short. Congratulations.
Thank you to the mayor and the board of Aldermen. Like I said earlier, I am committed to this community and to do what I can to make it better for the people. One thing you'll learn about me, I'm a big crybaby. And so I'm trying really hard now not to cry.
Cry if you want.
I'm thinking about my parents.
Proud of you.
You know, they've both passed away, but I hope they're looking down and really proud of me as well as my children and my grandchildren. So I do thank you for this opportunity, and I will not let you down, nor will I let the city of Tullahoma down.
Thank you, Ms. McGee. Next board meeting will be on the 24th, and we will have a swearing-in ceremony.
20.
Is it 28?
It's the 28th.
28th.
Ms. McGee, we will, on the 28th, I'm reminded, we will have a swearing-in ceremony. Judge Conley will be here to swear you in, and you'll be able to take your seat amongst the aldermen.
Thank you
So again, congratulations. And with that,
I'd like to make a motion that we postpone pictures until...
No, they are.
we will not do pictures.
I know.
tonight. We've already done that. You didn't read your last email. So we will do that
Picture
Change clothes and everything.
and
Carol, take a picture of you just now.
Mr. Berry, you're big on Robert's Rules of Order, and if you'll check, we do not have to have a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.
Adjourned.